In the world of sports, there has always been an obsession with records, striving to surpass limits and set new benchmarks. From Wilt Chamberlain's legendary 100-point game to Usain Bolt's record-breaking 9.5, to Michael Phelps' astonishing 23 gold medals across multiple Olympics. Athletes have consistently pushed themselves to achieve the impossible. While records are meant to be broken, there are some that stand the test of time and appear to be unattainable. In college wrestling, there are 3 such records that I consider to be almost unbreakable. Before we get into the countdown, hit the subscribe button if you love wrestling. Number 3, Cael Sanderson's 159-0 undefeated 4-time NCAA championship career. While other wrestlers such as Oklahoma State's Yojiro Utake have also enjoyed undefeated college careers, none have achieved 4 NCAA titles and had over 100 career wins. Utake had a record of 58-0 and even won 3 national championships, but he had 101 fewer matches compared to Sanderson's 159 bouts. And there have been other 4-time NCAA champions, including Pat Smith, Kyle Dake, Logan Stieber, and most recently Yanni Diakomahalis, all of whom had over 100 wins, but none of them could maintain an unbeaten record. And of course, I have to mention Dan Gable's college wrestling record of 118 wins and 1 loss, with his sole loss coming in the final match of his college career. This just goes to show the tiny margin of error that exists in college wrestling. Even the slightest issue, such as a poor weight cut, lack of sleep, or a questionable meal the night before, can throw off an entire match. Nevertheless, Cael Sanderson was able to overcome all obstacles and achieve an immaculate record by winning every single match of his college career. The one wrestler who I think could have replicated Cael Sanderson's career was Gable Steveson, if he had taken a red shirt instead of wrestling his true freshman year. During his true freshman year, Steveson was very dominant, but he was defeated twice by Anthony Cassar. However, in the following offseason, Steveson made a remarkable leap in performance, and no one came close to challenging him again. However, during a recent interview on the Clash of Combat podcast, Steveson revealed that those losses spurred him to make significant lifestyle changes that ultimately helped him improve his wrestling game. So maybe he wouldn't have gone undefeated after all, even if he did redshirt. This is why Cael Sanderson's career is nothing short of unbelievable. That is why we may never see another undefeated 4-time NCAA champion with over 100 wins. Number 2, Gene Mills' collegiate pin record of 107 pins. Gene Mills had a remarkable career, achieving a record of 144 wins and 5 losses, and winning the NCAA championships twice. What sets him apart even further is the fact that he pinned his opponents 107 times out of those 144 victories. Interestingly, the Chalice Award, named after Wade Chalice, was created to honor the wrestler with the most pins in a season. Chalice held the previous record of 106 pins, but Mills surpassed it by 1 pin, solidifying his place as one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. In the modern era of wrestling, Ben Askren was known for his pinning ability, finishing his career with 91 pins to rank 3rd all-time behind Gene Mills and Wade Chalice. To put this in perspective, Spencer Lee was feared for his pinning ability. He had 38 pins in his career. Wyatt Hendrickson won the Chalice Award this year with 17 pins. Even if he duplicated this across 4 seasons, that would still only be enough for 68 pins, 39 pins short of Gene Mills' record. In today's modern era of wrestling, wrestlers simply do not compete in enough matches to come anywhere near Gene Mills' record. Even if they did compete in more matches, the pin rate is just not high enough to challenge Gene Mills. As a result, it is safe to say that Gene Mills' pin record will remain secure for the foreseeable future and perhaps even forever. Number 1, the 1997 Iowa Hawkeyes NCAA tournament team scoring record of 170 points. The 97 Iowa Hawkeyes had 5 national champions: Jesse Whitmer, Mark Ironside, Lincoln McElravy, Joe Williams, and Lee Fulhart. They had 6 finalists, Mark Mena finished 2nd, and 8 All-Americans. The 2 wrestlers who didn't All-American lost in the blood round. Again, let's put this in perspective. In 2017, Cal Sanderson's best Penn State team also had 5 national champions and scored 146.5 team points. The national champions included Zane Relaford, Jason Nolf, Vincenzo Joseph, Mark Hall, and Bo Nickel. But what you may not be remembering was that this was the year Nick Suriano, ranked number 2 in the country, broke his ankle and was unable to compete at the national tournament. Let's just assume for a moment Nick Suriano doesn't break his ankle and goes on to win the national title. And along the way, he gets 3 major decisions. That Penn State team still would have been a half a point short from the 1997 Iowa Hawkeyes team scoring record. And one of the crazy things about this 97 Hawkeye team is that they had a national champion who was seeded 5th and another who was seeded 6th. So if any team is ever going to catch the 97 Iowa Hawkeyes, they are going to have to outperform expectations at the national tournament. In 1986, the Iowa Hawkeyes hit 158 team points, which currently sits as the second most ever. No other team has ever broken 160 points, and the 97 Hawkeyes got to 170. And only one team has even broken 150 points since the 97 Hawkeye team, and that was Oklahoma State with 153 points in 2005. Over the years, there have been several incredible teams that have racked up impressive scores at the national tournament. However, none have been able to match the remarkable performance of the 1997 Iowa Hawkeyes, and some might argue there never will be.